Over the weekend, cruising fanatics around the country received the news they had been waiting over 18 months to hear. But did they? And Royal Caribbean's new island playground in the South Pacific looks set to welcome guests from next year. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. Last weekend, Aussie cruise lovers were overjoyed to finally hear the news that Federal Health Minister Greg Hunt agreed that cruising should return to Australia. As we know all too well, cruising has been banned locally since March 2020, when the Ruby Princess became the poster child for the languishing cruise industry. Now though, it seems like the tide is turning. The Biosecurity Act that currently prevents cruise ships from sailing to and from Australia is set to end on December 17th. Greg Hunt announced that Australia has exceeded its 80% vaccination target, with over 84% of Australians aged 16 and over now double jabbed. In light of this progress, Greg Hunt said, "I expect to be able to make a decision on cruise ships in the coming weeks once we've got the medical information, but it will require at least one state or territory to partner on that. We'll let them make their own considerations, but we would like to see cruising back on before Christmas." Christmas? First of all, the Australian summer cruise season has been completely decimated, with Carnival last week cancelling its voyages into our autumn. Secondly, even if the ban on cruising was overturned today, it takes cruise lines at least 60 to 90 days to get their ships prepared and ready for sailing and back down under. That pushes us into February. I have to wonder if Greg Hunt and others in government have even been paying attention to the conversation surrounding the restart of the cruising industry. Good news is good news, and though I tend not to look a gift horse in the mouth, to indicate that cruising could return by this Christmas just reeks of ignorance. Mr. Hunt confirmed what we had already long suspected, that once the federal ban on cruising ends, it will be up to individual states and territories to manage the resumption locally. New South Wales State Premier Dominic Perrottet reconfirmed his commitment to seeing cruising return to Australia's premier cruise destination over the weekend, saying, "The cruise industry is a very important segment of the travel market, and we look forward to the greatest harbour in the world being able to welcome ships from around the world once again when it is safe to do so." Safe to do so. Much like Mr. Hunt waiting for medical information, I have to wonder what these people have been doing for the past 20 months. Certainly comments like these make it clear that by choice or otherwise, the many data-backed cries from the cruising industry for a restart have gone by pretty much unnoticed. P&O Cruises responded to Greg Hunt's comments with a post on its Facebook page where it said, "Our loyal guests and the many businesses that rely on cruising would see cancelling the ban as a positive step in the right direction. However, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, especially given the media coverage that cruising could return by Christmas. In fact, much remains to be done in establishing a pathway before cruise ships can return to Australia. Cancelling the cruise ban would open the way for detailed discussions with state governments to engage and establish the framework for resumption." In a nutshell, despite what the media chorus might be reporting, Christmas cruising is not going to happen and never was. The federal government first needs to revoke its ban on cruising, at which point the states will take over to manage the resumption more locally. According to a cruise passenger article, an industry meeting held last week in New South Wales with Health Minister Brad Hazzard proved productive, essentially confirming that the ban on cruising will come to an end on December 17. It looks more and more likely that intrastate cruising will be the pathway to which cruising returns to Australia more broadly. And don't even get me started on the fact that Royal Caribbean were clearly on the right track with their exclusive New South Wales season that was advertised some months ago. Had the federal government actually understood the lead times involved in returning cruise ships to Australia, maybe, just maybe, Royal Caribbean wouldn't have cancelled the entire summer cruise season. Meanwhile, outgoing Royal Caribbean chairman Richard Fain did confirm that their private island in Vanuatu, known as Lelepa, will be open to guests in 2022. The destination will most likely make its way onto the South Pacific itineraries of the 22-23 summer cruise season, but is yet to have an official opening date. The island is expected to offer guests a taste of the local culture and a range of activities to suit everyone. If Perfect Day at Coco Cay is any indication of what's to come, I'd say we're in for a real treat. World cruise adoration seems to be at an all-time high, with Royal Caribbean's 9-month world cruise scheduled for 2024 proving extremely popular with Australians, being the second largest cohort booked on the cruise. Americans unsurprisingly take the first spot. Boutique destination-focused cruise line Azamara is also getting in on the world cruise action, scheduling their own 5-month voyage for 2024 on board their newest ship, the somewhat awkwardly named Azamara Onward. The world cruise will visit 40 countries and offer 22 overnight stays and 27 late nights in port, so guests can get a truly local taste. Guests booked onto the full world voyage will enjoy business class airfares, pre-cruise hotel stay and gala, as well as up to $7,000 in onboard credit. That all comes in addition to Azamara's premium inclusions, which you can learn more about by watching my 5 things to love about Azamara video by clicking the link in the description or on the card above. That's it for this week's cruise news update. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And if you are looking to book a cruise from 2022 and beyond, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at @thecruiseandtravelguy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Aussie cruise lovers were overjoyed to hear that last weekend, Good news is good news, and though I tend not to look a gift horse in the mouth, it will be up to individual state and territories, It looks more and more likely that intrastate cruising will be the pathway to a more local... Meanwhile, outgoing Richard...